Right, so I don't usually do recordings. I'm used to having a dialogue with the person I'm coaching, but I'll try and see how this works out. So before we start, I'm going to focus on three main things. The first one is going to be your Discord targets. The second one is going to be your positioning. And the third one is going to be ult usage. Oh, shit. So I'll just try and start it.
Round one, capture the objective.
So we're still down a player.
So now that you're about to enter the fight, you should raise up Harmony on someone. Harmony Orb does not heal that much. It's 30 health a second. And generally speaking, it's more beneficial to have it on lower HP targets with slimmer hitboxes who are bound to take less damage than heavy hitting tanks. So, Trace is the perfect target if he's fighting with you. Right now he's not. He won't benefit from it because he's out of your line of sight. But before the fight starts here, before anything happens, just start on Hanzo. Just give Hanzo a Harmony. Um, you can obviously give it to tanks. Sometimes you might as well, um, because they need extra healing. Like if Winston's about to jump in head first, if he's a pure frontliner, you could give him Harmony. But generally speaking, heroes like Genji, Tracer benefit so much from it because they are unlikely to be healed by your Mercy, and they have slim hitboxes and they're generally very elusive, so they take less damage. So Harmony might just sustain them through the damage they take. It allows them to be more aggressive. Like a Genji can easily be zoned by a single Winston if it's not healed or supported. Um, let's see Ben. Again, still no Harmony active now that they have a pharmacy spamming on you. Um, Mercy is not a good target to keep Harmony on just because she heals your team and you heal her. It's perfect teamwork. She peels from you, you peel from her. But just start on someone here. So I like where you're sitting here because it's safe. The pharmacy obviously spamming your team. You don't want to be spammed by this, so where you are now is fine. Once your tanks go in, like they are here, once they walk, you walk onto the point. It should be safe for you to walk up here, uh, which means you can either use this ground here as cover, or you can go in here if it's safe. I wouldn't recommend it in the small spaces unless you know what they're playing and you know where they are. So there's risk of a Tracer being there and the risk of a Reaper being there, for example. So this one here, this covering right here is perfect. That's why you should be moving up to now, because it allows you to. You have the same amount of space you have here. You have the same cover. Nothing's gonna hit you, but you can peek out. You can maintain harmony. You're closer to the targets for your projectiles, and you're better at discording. Yeah, so you start your first harmony here. Again, just probably miss someone to start. Or is it not two? I like what you're doing here. Uh, you see the monkey here. That's good. Which means you just back off. You don't want him to see you. Well, he will see you, but you don't want him to have an easy time to get to you. One of the basic rules of dive tanks is that engaging, if at all possible, should be done by walking. You don't want to expend your mobility to reach your target. You want to walk there and save your mobility for either chasing or getting away. So this is good, making sure you don't walk into the monkey. Yep, pretty straightforward. This is a good target. How many your hands off? How many your hands off? I'll go back here a little bit. Um, I wanna check your harmony real quick. Some hands are right now. Now it's on Mercy. Throw the hands again. Mercy's safe over here. This is an important message. All of harmony returned. This is because your Mercy's been on your line of sight for long enough for it to drop off. So right now you're not healing at all. Your Zarya's half, but you saw a critical Hanzo behind you. There's no point in turning around here. You need to see your team. You see what's going on. There's nothing behind you right now. But at the very least, where you are right now, right here, where you're currently facing, the first thing you do is just Harmony Zarya. You currently have it active on no one, so it's doing nothing. Just heal anyone at all. Throw down Zarya here. You did. Good. Throw the Mercy. And now, yep, perfect. This is a good cover. Um, when it comes to Discords, I generally do not like discording Pharahs unless it's specifically required. Times you want to discard a pharmacy is when you're playing a hit scan to actually deal with them, but your comp right now does not really deal with Pharah. What your comp does, it wins the ground fight. A common technique to deal with pharmacy is just ignore her. Pharah's up in the sky, Mercy's with her. What this means is there's only 4 people on the ground, right? There's the tanks, there's one support, and there's one DPS. So you discord the tanks, and you just have your tanks just push on through. You have your hands doing damage to them, and you just press them so much the pharmacy doesn't matter. By the time they actually get enough damage done, they've lost the fight on the ground. So yeah, right now discording and shooting at Pharah. I mean, I guess it's okay. You can go for the shot, but hang on. Personally, I would try and discord a tank. One of the most powerful discord targets in the game is Reinhardt, and the way that you do that is that you spam it at the button. This is because most Reinhardts will have their shield up, and obviously you can't just go through your shield, but they will drop it for either maintaining shield or for fire striking, and that's the moment when you just fire strike them, not fire strike them, sorry, discord them, because even though you can't discord through shields, discord does not break through the line of sight of the shield. It will stay on the Rhine until Zarya is shielded or hides. Again, track your harmony. What's currently going on? It's on Mercy. Mercy's been here and safe for however long, whereas your Hanzo died, arguably not your fault. He died over here, way out of sight, but your tanks could use it. As I said, I don't generally put it on tanks, but right now, you have nothing better to do. It shouldn't be in a full HP Mercy right now. That's a waste of healing. Let's go, Zarya. That's good. While it is doubtful it would have mattered here, you chose to discord before you harmonied, and you tasted died. It's possible it could have helped, maybe not, but prioritize harmony on a critical HP target than discording the target they're on. Oh wait, oh no, Hanzo's dead. I was wondering if it's any healing. Let's trace anything. So right now, the Zarya is dead. But what you see here is important. That's your Pharah. This is your Tracer. Your Tracer's chevron is yellow, which means she's been damaged. Um, so yeah, right now you just want to throw Harmony at her when she comes out line sight, throw Discord in the sky, because the Pharah right now is close enough for you Tracer to deal with her. At this range, Tracer does not suffer significant drop off, and she can actually just kill the Pharah. So yeah, absolutely Discord Pharah here, and Harmony Tracer as soon as you can. Chase is critical. I believe you're too late anyway. This is not your doing. Your Chase is just kind of taking an unfortunate duel, and she's gonna die for it. Yep. Um. So now your Pharah is indoors, and you have Discord on her. So I like this. Honestly, I like you're gonna pre-fire a volley because you know where she's gonna peek. Um. But otherwise, again, she's not worth much of your attention. But this is good. This pre-fire could work. You could just kill her straight up. Unfortunate. So yeah, that's a mix of mechanics. It's one shot until she dies. But honestly, look at what's going on in point, right? You win the point fight. The Zarya's dead. The tank line is crumbling. So what you should be doing is you should be going through here. You shouldn't back off here, because first of all, you're backing off in a straight line, which means it's a lot easier for a Pharah to hit you with those projectiles. Um, and you have the protection of your tanks. A secondary thing is tunnel vision. Um, this is Mercy. This is your best friend. This is the most important target to keep alive on your team. And I would argue the reason you die is because she's not healed. What your Mercy is currently doing is running for her life. She's critical, she's not receiving healing, she's scared. Throw the harmony on her, and she might turn around and just heal you because watch the Pharaoh's on you. There's not much she should fear. Right now she's scared because one Pharaoh is going to kill her. Just harmony her and just trust she will heal you. Yeah, she's still critical. She really wants to heal you, but she's too low to safely do so. And you're busy shooting. Your Harmony Stone Zarya, who is currently almost full health. So again, it's not doing much. It should really be on your mercy.
God damn it.
Oh, did you walk off? Or you got booped. Okay, you got booped. Yeah, while the volley was good, that was really down to you to have Harmony active and just position yourself correctly because you did not get booped there if you'd gone to the point rather than the way you went. Yep, I like this. This is a safe space right now. Because the Thara is dead. Uh, did the Reaper die as well? I think, right? I actually can't remember.
Heroes never die.
Oh, Reaper's in the middle. Yeah, I hear her. Yeah, this is a good spot. Um, why? Why do you remove yourself from a good sightline and a safe place to be? You go in here, okay. This is completely fine. Monkey Roll's about to crack. This is not a problem anymore. The running swing on a monkey, which means you just discord the monkey. Just discord him right now and just stay here. You can hear the Reaper in point. He just killed your Hanzo, which means he's over here. You're safe from everything. There's nothing here gonna harm you. Just shoot at the tank, discord the tank, and keep harmony active. Instead, I think you fear the Zarya, maybe? But you're in good line of sight. You can just keep hiding from her. There's no reason to go over here. Now, so Primal Rage Winston's obviously a pretty chunky target. He has 1000 HP, but 1000 HP also makes Discord better. He goes from 1000 effective health to 700. Discord, pressing E on a monkey who's raging, does 300 damage. So if your team's actually focusing him like they are, just keep Discord on him. So again, quite lucky Mercy did not die. Your Harmony was on Ryan this entire time. And since the Reaper's dead, the Zarya's dead, you have nothing to fear again. You can peek here, go around the corner, and just E your Mercy. Shift him, sorry. Another minor thing that's specific to Zenyatta is what I noticed you do is that you fire your volleys, you pre-charge volleys every single time, even if they said to shoot at and you need to harmony someone. What happened there was you wanted to harmony your Mercy, understandable, but you were charging a volley and you had to fire it. You don't have to fire it, you just press melee and it cancels your volley and you can take actions right away.
My ultimate is almost ready.
So another thing important to take note of is that you have Transcendence now, which is one of the most powerful support ults in the game. It nullifies a lot of damage dealing ults, it nullifies a lot of control ults like Graviton, Earth Shatter, things like that. But what you need to know is what do you need to use it on? What is the information we have? They have Barrage, They might have Earth Shatter. Oh, no, sorry, they don't. They're playing Monkey, who just Primal Rage. So they just Death Blossomed as well. So what's your threat? The threat is going to be Graviton Surge. They don't have enough damage on their team to actually get through it. Unless the Pharaoh's point blank, your Transcendence cannot heal the damage from her Rocket Barrage. So ult tracking on Transcendence is paramount. Right now, the only threat to your team is Graviton, so I would try and trans either Graviton or trans before that to win a fight convincingly if your team needs extra healing. Um, so right now, I don't like this approach. I don't like it from your team, and I don't like it from you. If you walk forward in this direction, what's going to happen is the Pharah spams behind into a corridor, and she probably hits you and you die. Um, but I understand why. It's because you have a hard time supporting your team with discords, because they want to engage here. So you can sit here where you are right now. That's a lot better. Just don't go in here. Stay out of it. Where's Harmony? It's a no one again. It could be on your Rhine when you're second damage. Could be on your Zarya now. Actually, it was just returned. Who was it on though? Your Mercy, right? Yeah, it's on your Mercy. So what I noticed is you like to just have your Harmony linger on someone. It's kind of like a fire and forget until suddenly you realize someone else needs it. Try and keep it active. Try and take note of the message return and just try and keep it on someone who's not currently full health. Look at this. Mercy's full health. It's currently on her. It's doing nothing. It's completely useless. Where's your Harmony? Critical health. Dead. Keep Discord and Zarya here. It's an important target to kill. So you're in a really sticky situation. Okay. I can respect this trans investment. I think that's pretty good. Although I would have been more I would have actually had the plan to do so earlier. Um, you know you have it for a fact. You know you have the transcendence. You let your Reinhardt die here. I think this is where you trans. I think if you're gonna invest trans for this fight, this is where you do it. So save your Reinhardt, you trans here. Because you just shattered, there's still no grab. If you trans here, your Reinhardt walks forward, your Zara walks forwards, and these guys get mullered completely. Uh, but you lose all your front line because your Reinhardt dies here. It's actually uneven trades right now. Your Rhine died, their ass got rezzed. They lost a Lucio though, so they have no off healer. But you lost your Hanzo, which means you're down to just Tracer for damage, and you have no Reinhardt, so it's literally Zarya and Tracer doing damage right now. Mercy's dead as well. But you rest your Rhine though, so that means you now have a main tank again, so your two tanks, Tracer and Zenyatta on point. And you're up against Mercy, a Pharah, a Rhine, and a Zarya. So you could chance this fight, but again, I would have chanced it earlier. Honestly, I think this fight should not turn in your favor despite trans, because they're the main support and no one's in critical danger. But we'll see what happens. One more thing, real quick. During Transcendence, you can't orb, so you should really have it on someone before you trans. Both Discord and Harmony. I tend to just throw a Discord. No matter who it's on, doesn't matter. If I don't currently have Discord active, I make sure to throw it before I trans, almost every time. You get grabbed here. He has it, right? Still nothing. Still no Harmony. Your Ryan's critical to your left here. A bit of tunnel vision. Good kill though. There's a fire in the sky above you, so I don't like moving towards her. I would have moved around the corner again. I would just go to her, move around the corner. He backed off. Good rotation. Honestly, very good. You were doing nothing on a point. This is a better sight line, and more importantly, it's harder for them to reach you because they have to go through your team. Whereas if they went point, the fire could easier just spam you from above. This is a very good rotation. Don't go in. Don't go in. These two corners are your friends. Don't go the point. There's no reason to. This audio cue actually happened a second before you turned around. You didn't react until you were shot at. Let's try and hear it. There it is. Heavy footsteps right here. Still footsteps. Then he shoots. Alright. So you did react to it actually. You did react to the audio cue. That's good. You press hold for this. Yep. So you have Harmony on someone now. It's your Reinhardt. That's okay. Good target. Where's your Discord? Unleash him. Good kill. Good kill. This got the Reinhardt. Actually, really good Discord rotations. Honestly, that was really good. Like, you had the right target all the time, almost. Yep. Kill Lucia with it. Let's go the Reinhardt. Let's go the Zarya. Yep. You basically Discord your team's focus all the time. What does these Zen players do? Vocal Zen players, they call Discords, which is on the surface a good thing, but ultimately it becomes a bad thing because what they do is they throw out all the time. It's like Discord Zarya, Discord Mercy, Discord Lucio. The problem is that if you're stopping Discord every 2 seconds, who's shooting at them? It doesn't matter that you're calling them. You want to focus the target. Especially with dive tanks, what people do is like they Discord the main tank, then suddenly it swaps over the Zen is shooting, which might be someone in the back. But your tanks just jumped onto their main tank, um, and then Discord disappears from him. That's the problem. So what you do here is perfect. You're discording, you're swapping them based on targets, but you're discording where your team can reach. That's super important.
First round, one.
Oh, he didn't touch. Right, pretty good round, honestly.
Take time at the last game, but it is time to act.
So on Gardens, Pharmacy is going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot rougher time for you to deal with it.
Two,
But
one.
let's see how you position.
Round two. Capture the objective.
Remember to Harmony someone. Even your Reinhardt's fine in this case because he's your first front line. Yep, that's good. Oh, they're playing the Orisa now, interesting. They're playing Moira. I saw Zen up there as well. What are you gonna do here, real quick? What's your plan when you go around this corner to pre-fire? What happens when they walk into you? Your team gets split up, and honestly, I would have just gone point right away. You see they're playing the Orisa. You see they're playing over here. Just go point. Your main tank's already there. So right now you're trying to pre-fire to get a pick, but you're not supporting your tank line at all. There's no Discord currently active. Harmony's a new Tracer who's in here full health. So yeah, you should have gone point right away. And now you're in a really sticky situation. you, I think you went too closer. I don't think you needed to go that close. Point is fine. Here is fine. Good spot. Why go closer? Why go into the Reaper? But alright, honestly, your team got split up. That's why you lost the start. So they're kind of keeping the same comp, except they swapped the Narissa, Ryan for Ryan slash Monkey, whatever they're playing for Orisa, and the Mercy for a Moira. So now that we've realized you acted on the Reaper audio queue earlier, there are friendly ones as well. This one here. Same thing you have is that there's the Mercy here, shooting at them, just poking. That sound. Um, that means Mercy took damage from a Pharaoh most likely, so she's pretty chunked. All it takes from you to heal her, just turn to her a little bit. Just next to the right, so you can see her, just harming her. As you can see here, yeah, she's half health. She does regen, but you should be healing her full charge. You do heal her, just a bit too late. Again, I would stick with your team. I would go around the Rhine shield. Yep, this is good. Nice go. It looked like you was scared of the Reaper there. Like here? Was that what happened? Yeah, you were. He was here the entire time. They wouldn't be afraid of anyone coming from that direction. You took. Oh, it's unlucky. This is still super winnable, right? They're down 3, you're just standing around Heart. They're coalescing, which means stay out of line sight. You can go from main, you can go here when it ends. Reaper's dead, this is good, yep. But don't go in front of Yuzari, yep. Let Yuzari push in his walk around there, perfect. What you can do against a comp which is very, very low ground focused. Again, they have Orisa, they're playing Reaper. Up here, the only danger to you is a Pharah. So it's a very nice place to be. Especially since Pharah is not currently alive. Okay, yep. Nice shots. Again, kinda risky play there, honestly. What you are here is fine. This is good. You're walking closer. Now you're in completely open space. The Pharah is now back. You're being hit by the Moira. You drop very low because you're not with your tanks cover. You live fortunately, but that was more down to luck than it was skill from your part. Pharah behind you. So that's a reactive trend. Again, I like this one. I think it's good because it's currently quite even. They lost their Pharah, but with you dead, that would have been even trades. Yeah, good chance. Now make sure you don't get killed as you from other trends. See, that's a lot better rotation. That's a lot better. What you're doing here is you're keeping sight of your team and their team the entire time, but you're going for a better spot. See, you keep firing, but now you reach a better spot. It's a good rotation. So once again, since Zenyatta is your off support and he's certainly very prioritized, ult tracking is an important thing. What do they have? Did they barrage? I don't think so. I think they just reported, which means she's probably looking for it. You heard her above, so she's flying somewhere looking for a barrage spot. So it's on you to not get caught by that. I don't like this. You're too far from your team. And Reaper just teleported up here. You heard him do so. back up. Oh, the Pharah fell down. Oh. But alright, yep, this is good. Good distance from the enemy, but still sightlines for both them and your team. Harmony someone, and just defend your Rhino.
Not good.
Discord on monkey up top.
So I like that you watch your angles like
Fell
this.
down
I
to the
mean,
mini.
I can't
Discord on.
fault this. Like what you're doing here. This is good. The only problem is that you're doing it at the wrong times. Like who's really gonna come from here? The Pharah just died. The Reaper is not here. He's dead as well. The Orisa is obviously over here. Who's really gonna come from here? Who are you scared of going this way? It's a good place to look for Reapers, but he's not gonna be here right now. He's elsewhere on the map.
Discord on monkey up top. Fell down to the mini. Shit, he's on me. Sorry, I wasn't gonna die.
Yeah, so again, a reactive trance because you're scared of dying. But I wouldn't be. You haven't rezzed anyone since the game started. Basically, your Mercy is res available, and I don't even think you're gonna die. I think you were safe here.
Fell down to the mini. Shit, he's on me. Sorry.
Yeah, you were completely safe. You're 125 HP, and as an added bonus, you get Zara shielded. So Monkey does 60 FPS, 60 DPS, sorry, which means at the current health you're on, it took him 2 seconds to kill you from there. But more importantly, he has a melee combo, which is a burst fire combo, which is 30 extra 30 damage on top of his zapping. So if you're at 90 health, maybe I'd be scared, but right there was no reason to fear anything. You were completely safe. This was not needed.
I wasn't gonna die.
But alright, get most of it. It's okay. So one thing that's important about Transcendence is that obviously it gives you a speed boost and it makes you invincible for the duration of it. But when you get out of it, that's no longer the case, which means it's super important for you to plan and find out where you want to land once it ends. And for you here,
Wasn't gonna die.
considering their team is there, and the Pharah's back, that's around the corner here. Not in the middle of the map, around the corner. You almost make it. You almost make it, and then you decide to go back instead, and now you're in the middle of the map with a Pharah shooting at you.
Yeah, they don't have a Genji, but watch out for rocket barrages. Should be coming up.
Again, pretty exposed, middle of nowhere. Luckily, they're
Discord on
bad
far
to
up
see
top
you.
of tree.
So actually, it looks like you are respecting that you have a hit scan. That's why you're discording Pharah. I think you just called it Pharah's up top, discorded McCree. That's good, but I still think in this scenario, you really need to kill the Zarissa. You need to kill the front line. Your tanks are brawling. Your McCree shooting at the tanks. I think you should discord this guy instead. But I like you recognize you have a hit scan, discording Pharah. I think that's really good. But right now, it should be on someone else.
Got her. Never
But you
mind.
actually killed it. That's nice. The question I have for you is, was she low enough to dive without Discord? I don't actually know, because I can't see her health.
Got
Wait,
her.
can you
Never
actually
mind.
see it via Discord? Oh, you can. Yeah, you see this? She dies to a single ball of Discord. I guarantee you, she's already dead. So yeah,
Got her.
wasn't too
Never mind.
necessary. But it's alright. What's your harmony on? No one. So you do harmony here, but I think it's too late.
Got her. Never
It
mind.
just returned. I think it was on your Mercy again, was it? Yeah, it's on your Mercy. No, it's on your McCree, sorry, rather. It's on your McCree. He's full health. Now it returned.
Got her.
Pharah's dead. Critical. Your first order of business. Uncritical this.
Never mind.
But you are shooting and start firing a volley instead of harmonying. Harmony is your first priority. You are a support. I know he's a lot of damage. I know Discord's good, but heal your team. It's super important, especially your tank. They have to survive. not as good of rotation as you did earlier. Let's see how you do it again. This is where we start. Where we know the Reaper's here. We know the Pharah's here. No, sorry, we know the Orisa's there, the Pharah's dead, the Zen's dead. Your Reinhardt's dead, which means the only frontline you have is your Zarya. Your McCree sitting here. Move back. Monkey landed, but Monkey's here now. Monkey's here. Reaper's still here. Orisa's still here. Those are the only few targets on point, because Mara just died as well. We know he has this again, right? We should be pretty comfortable. Well, pretty what's the word? Pretty confident that's the one that he has Blossom again. So you should be walking closely first. Be working. We're gonna wait for him. Monkey just jumped here and died, which means again, this side of the point is a no-go. It's the only way there's threats. The Orisa is still there. The Reaper's there. Stay on the side of the point where you are right now. You're pretty safe there. Instead, you walk across the Orisa bubble because you want to shoot at something, but look who's here. This is an overextension. If you wanted to like damage these guys, you rotate around again, you keep your team in line of sight, and you keep them in line of sight, and you shoot them afar. This is too close. And you end up dying.
Adversity is an opportunity.
Overtime.
Justice reigns from above.
Hey, that's everybody down. Back up.
That's a good call. It's a call not everybody makes, and it's a call that absolutely not everybody respects. Staggering is a huge problem. And I like this because even if your team doesn't listen, sometimes they do. And what you just did prevented your team from making a huge mistake of staggering. So yeah, very good call. I believe your chase is gonna touch. You shouldn't be in too much of a rush to do so yourself. Your monkey there's a monkey jumping behind you. You're in a really bad spot here. Really bad spot. Right. I want to watch back the entire thing actually. Let's see what happens here, okay? So your chase is gonna touch. You shouldn't have to leave frontline. There's Zarya right next to you. Monkey jumps. What's this here? What are you doing here? Deal with the monkey. Unless overtime ticks down, because Trace has triggered overtime, it means you have time to rotate the mouse to point if need be. You shouldn't try to immediately deal with this, just go kill the monkey first. Super important. I don't think there's anyone else left to Harmony actually. Your Zarya is dead, your Ryan is dead, your Trace is dead, so yeah, you actually can't harm anyone else here. What happened there? Did you get stuck on something? So there, considering your ult charge, the correct response was absolutely walk through the shield, hit her once, and just press Q instantly. It's overtime, you have nothing else to do.
Damn it.
Or you could have done nothing.
Damn
Look at this. No. Okay, 98. Critical. Stay here. Stay in this little alcove. You're safe. Your ult charge will tick up by itself because you heal the McCree's now taking damage. Don't peek anything.
Damn it.
You peek and you die.
Yeah, I got stuck on the ledge. My bad.
Alright, honestly, again, not entirely your fault, but this did start when you overextended and died to Reaper ult. You could have not been dead there, and honestly, that could have made the entire difference. That could have been all you needed between losing that fight and winning that fight. So you're playing dive tanks. You're not playing the Lucio, which means
Oh, we have Diva too. Okay, okay.
you are gonna wait. You have a Mercy. Yeah, you do, okay. Which means going top is probably not advised. What's this? Okay, so what's happened here is that you've cut yourself off from every single thing on your team. Where you are now is fine. There's a Diva here, Monkey up top. There's a Mercy right around you. The Soldier's fighting here. You can see the Hog is here. So you're pretty safe here. This is good. Tracer died to the Hog. You see an Orisa here. So the first thing is that Orisa is pretty damn threatening actually. Uh, she's standing behind her shield. People underestimate her, but if you have to walk through her shield, it's point blank, she will annihilate you. This is not a target you go for. You turn around, you support your team, you currently have no Harmony active. This is a huge mistake. And now the net closes because there's an Orisa here, Mercy's there, Reaper's here. Reaper's cut you off. You're dead.
Mercy and Orisa on point.
You're actually
Bridge is back here standing around. I think she DC'd.
okay, so you're actually not dead somehow. But again, nice piece of tech here. You really need this Harmony. This really needs to be a thing. But you are finishing your volley. Just kick to melee it. Melee to cancel it. And just Harmony. This is way more important than anything you could bring in right now. Instead, since it's your soldier, he has to run away to your Mercy and recover by himself over the course of time. He's wasting a massive amount of time where he could just be firing and helping you actually.
Bridge is back here standing around.
But you're still in a really bad spot, and I can tell you, better players would walk into you. The Arista would walk into you. The Brigade, who's currently AFK, it seems, would walk into you. You should be dead.
I think she DC'd. Yep, nope, she was just moved out.
Again, huge problem. Your entire utility is currently inactive. No Harmony, no Discord. There's the Harmony. He dies anyway. There's the Discord. But since the monkey died, where's your Harmony now? There's the monkey. He's Harmonied. Monkey dies. It drops. Look at this. Shooting at him. Before you do anything else, just throw Harmony. Just throw Harmony here. And then go about your business.
Sorry, Monkey, I had my bubble on you, but...
Instead, you still Harmony nothing, and Discord just drop off as well. Need it. Yeah, you were massively split from your team.
Oh no, no!
Oh no, yeah.
Okay, that was a waste.
That was not a thank you, Mercy. That's a fuck you, Mercy, I think.
Good job grouping up.
Alright, yeah. Team no staggering, that's good.
A temporary setback.
So yeah, honestly, play with your team. I say this to a lot of different players. I say it to Moira players. I say it to Ana players. I say to tank. I mean, I don't say this to tanks, but you're a support. Your first job is healing. Doesn't matter what support you're playing. If you're the Mercy, you're the Ana. It doesn't matter. You have to use your utilities. Harmony is your, I mean, Discord is your primary utility, but Harmony heals your team. A Harmony on a target like Soldier allows them to stay active, allows them to just actually keep shooting instead of taking cover. Discord obviously helps them do damage to targets. If they're not active, why are you playing Zenyatta? If you're not having Harmony and Discord on someone, go play Pharah. That's all you're doing. You're shooting people with projectiles. Let's go play Pharah instead. Your first priority has to be your utilities. Right, this is good. Before we focus on the Mercy, I just want to say that discarding Roadhog's ulting is very strong because he can't heal, he's very slow, he's an easy target to burn. It's one of the best targets to kill a hog, best times to kill a hog is when he's ulting. I want to know if this could have been invented. So right now, Mercy's on you. You dance boosted. Okay, drop. I don't think even I heard that actually, like where the Reaper actually was. Okay, I do. Yeah, there's Reaper behind you. You do hear it.
Reaper just took out both our supports.
Now, I would argue that even if you were deaf and you had all sound muted, you should have seen this Reaper. And the way you do this, the way you see this Reaper is that you don't play right here. You back off. You back off a little bit. Around the corner here. What this does is it cuts off your sightline. This way, no sightline. If you back up the other way, suddenly you can see everything. I can explain it a little bit better actually. So, sightlines as support are generally your most powerful tool because supports require more information than anyone. They require to see a team's health, they require to see where they are, because it's the only way you can heal them and react to who you have to heal. So, you have your front line here, you have the enemy front line here. You maybe have your DPS here, whatever you're playing, doesn't matter. And then what I see people do is that they, as a Zen player or as a support player, play either at an angle here or they play here with DPS. What this does is that this sightline is bad. You can only see maybe one of your tanks. This sightline is bad. Um, but what if you place yourself here in the back? You can see everything. You can see the entire map, and that's what's important. Support sightlines have to be as much overview as possible, as much information as possible. If you're sitting where you are now, what can you really see? You can't see enemies. Well, you can see the road out here because he's discorded. But that's basically all you can see. You can't even see your Mercy. And honestly, seeing your Mercy is one of the most important things is then because she is your best Harmony up target. She's the most important member of your team. She's literally what makes everything run. Your Mercy dies, you basically fall apart. But you can't see her. You have no idea what's going on with her. You can't tell if she's dying or not right now. And she does. Whereas if you had been sitting over here, you could have seen all this. You could have seen the Mercy being killed by Reaper. You could have seen the Reaper himself, and you could have reacted to it. Instead, you take him by surprise, and you get wiped.
Reaper just took out both our supports.
But alright, next fight. So you're coming up with your Transcendence. Again, ult track is important. You know, this was used last fight. We know this was just used because you heard Alan Slomay, whatever she says. So they have this, and they have this, absolutely. This probably as well. So your trance should probably be used against this. If Reaper hits a media ultimate, that's your trance. Other than that, you could probably afford to use it as an engagement tool if you need to, because there's not many ultimates on the team that can take you by surprise. There's not many team-wide capable ultimates. Um, this can be very much avoided by playing properly and positioning properly. This is very much the same, especially if you have a D.Va who can block the entire thing. So, trans, if you need to, one of these two. If you don't, just engage with it. Just help your tanks push in with the extra healing.
Repetition is the path to mastery.
This two dive tank thing isn't cutting it.
I also very much disagree with your Mercy. Dive tanks are very good in this map. There's nothing wrong with your tank lineup. Especially against their comp.
Reaper on the left, Reaper on the left.
He's looking
down.
for an... Oh, no, he's down.
Thank you.
I like, again, checking corners, but this time it was actually applicable. Very good. Let's go, let's go. Yep, nice.
Let's go, let's go.
Good reaction, honestly. The McCree flashes as well,
There we go.
but honestly, you couldn't count that. So I think that was a
Focus
very
hot.
good chance. I think that was
Heals
good
on
reaction
D.Va.
time, and it was good response. Now that you have your ultimate, sorry, not your ultimate, now you have the point, again, let's run past what they're actually playing. There's a Roadhog, we know that. There's a Brigade. One of the best is Reaper. Um, the only threat to you, should you go up here on the high ground, which is one of the best places to be on this map, is the Pharah. And the Pharah is not going to be invisible. She flies over here, she goes through here. No matter which way, you will see her coming, and you can respond to it. You should not be here. Right here, Rotor walks up to you, Reaper walks up to you, basically anyone walks up to you, and you die. Up there, the only one who can actually target you without mass amounts of information by having to walk all the way around and take the jump pad is the Pharah. Upstairs. Way better place to be. No reason to be down here on the ground.
Mercy, if you're not healing, keep damage boost on Diva. Diva sleepy.
So since Diva has max, she's not really that great of a damage boost target. You should be damage boosting your 1 hit scans. But I understand what you're saying. It's also very much worth damage boosting a baby Diva because it regains her mech faster. But since she already has it, she's a very bad damage boost target. But right now, you see the problem again. Right now where you are, what can you see? McCree, okay. Diva, okay. So you can see 2 out of 5 team members. What about the enemy team? 0 out of 6. You have no Discord, no Harmony active. You're currently doing literally nothing. High ground, you can see what's on here. You can see your team. You have more information. Right now, you can have nothing to work with. Nothing at all. Uh-oh.
Where are you, monkey?
Now you back up. Now you back up. Back. Nice kill. Again, there's no Discord. Here, you can probably Discord the Pharah. For the time being, since the message is in the way, just Discord the Pharah right now. You are playing double hit scan. You are playing the Rookie, you're playing the Soldier.
Pharah, Discord up top.
Now Reaper. Diverse Reaper.
Reaper's got res.
Again, not necessarily your fault. Actually, it is your fault because you could have been up here from the start. So split. Your team dies here. You're on the other side of the world. Uh, you're not fully benefiting from the support you guys can give each other. The monkey shields can't help you. Your discords can't help his targets. Too split to actually do anything. It's just a very bad position from everyone involved. But alright, you can get your next fight, and you have a time to contest. So it's alright.
Come on.
Adversity is an opportunity for change.
You will need your monkey
Go.
to touch
Right
though.
behind you. Go in. Monkey, go.
Harmony. Yep. Okay, walks on your shield.
Touch
Unlucky.
point, touch point.
Let's go. Yep. It's the main thing. Let's get him in.
There we go. Swing.
I like this. Because you recognize you have to win this fight. There is a discipline involved, generally higher up when it comes to taking the point overtime, because if you invest everything you have into this one fight here at 99%, what ends up happening is that they don't care. They just come back with their ultimates and swing the fight back and they win. But since you had very limited resources to deal to begin with, like you had a trance, you had attack visor, I think trancing was absolutely the right choice, especially since the comp does not have anything required to trance. So yes, I like this trance. It was an investment. It was good. I will want to see what happens though. So this guy died because he walked in front of your tank. It's bad of him. There is their Ana.
Swing.
Okay. So right now you have 2 seconds of your transcendence. You should be backing off, scooping back to your mercy, back to your soldier. These guys are purple. Your transcendence is nothing for them. Just back up and help the other team. Instead, your mercy dies. This is on you. This death is on you. If this fight is lost because you have no main healer, that's on you. You should have been back to heal your mercy there. That should have been you. Nice. Alright. Yep. Honestly, good trends
Sorry,
timing.
I'd res you if I could.
I would have
Mercy.
just gone backwards once you saw your tanks were purple, because at that point there's nothing you can do for them. You won't heal them at all. Again, high ground is good.
I can
They're not putting a
bury at
comp that
least
can
all you
reach
guys.
you. You shouldn't be down here.
What's the way?
There's a hog behind you, yeah. So that's another problem where you are. You want to be here, you want to look at this archway, you want to see your teammates, that's fine, but you are relinquishing this sightline, this flank here. You can't see if anyone comes in here to kill you. The Roadhog didn't hook you, he just shot you, which was a mistake. You were a free kill. Any good Roadhog would have killed you here. You should be dead.
I'm
And now
hooked.
you are dead, yeah.
Hey, keep holding it. We're doing alright. We're doing alright. Damn.
You get forced into a lot of uncomfortable positions because you refuse to take the higher ground. Again, look at their comp. They're playing Moira Anna now as well. This guy completely safe from. Completely safe. Completely safe. Completely safe. Completely safe. The only target on the team who can actually damage you on high ground and force you off it is this one. And if you have a mercy, what's even more important is that if you're sitting in a lounge, you're on the high ground, just having fun. And mercy to the point here. If she's pressured, instead of having to fly around from teammate to teammate on the point, she can fly up to you and be safe up here. So not only does it improve your safety, it also gives your Mercy an additional escape route that can save her life. So high ground against this comp especially is super good. Anytime where you know you can get away with sitting up there because nothing's gonna just jump you, like a Monkey D for example, abuse it every single time. Even with a Monkey D, you can sit up there and just respond quickly when they jump by just jumping down. Another thing that this does is I'll explain to you how high ground works. If you sit up here as a no mobility hero, you sit up here, um, as opposed to being down here. If you get chased down here, you can go this way, go this way, go this way, go this way. You have these very limited escape routes. If you're up here, go this way, or you can drop down. You don't have the option sitting downstairs to go up, but you have the option sitting up top to go down. It gives you an additional vertical mobility escape route, which is super important because it often loses your attackers, especially if it's people who don't really want to surrender the higher ground, such as Reaper who likes to sit up there, the Pharah up there. They don't chase you down, so you can always go down, but you can't always go up. You know.
Went the wrong way.
It's all the straight up healing you, dude. Just kill the Pharah that's chasing me.
Come on, come on. We got it. We got 2 on point. We got 3. We're alright. Everybody stay. I'm coming in. Damn, somebody touch point.
Unfortunately, they have a main heal barrier on your team is critical. Play was a close one.
I can't touch it in time. Sorry.
It was a close one, yeah. So overall, positioning could be better. Your rotations are 50-50. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. The one you made to keep silence your team the entire way and kept shooting was good. The one where you walked towards their team into danger was bad. Be with your tanks more. They are the reason you stay alive. Um, Utilities are important. Your Discord, your Harmony. Again, if you're not using them, you might as well be playing Pharah, just a projectile damage dealer. Um, your ultimates, pretty good honestly. Again, this is not a comp where you have any set ultimates. There are comps where you want to, like a Genji, you want to trans Blade, Zarya, you want to trans Gravitons. But against comps like this, it's decision making and it's on the fly decision making, and you handle that pretty well. Uh, your targeting is generally alright. your discords are pretty good when they are active, and when they're not, of course. Uh, Again, remember the tech where you can cancel your right clicks by meleeing. It's important. People underestimate how good it is, but you could really benefit from doing it. There's so many times where I see you really want to harm your Discord, but you have to finish your right click animation, cancel it, and throw an orb. Um, Not much else. Again, your mechanics, your aim, that can be worked on. That's something I can teach you. That's just playing the game for longer and learning how to do that. Uh, so I think that's all I've got. If you have any questions, just DM me.